Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta. It's Chris from AncientLegacy.com with another exciting episode of My Talking Head. A little bit of a different episode of My Talking Head today. See, some of us have to work and we have actual jobs that we have to do, so I do not have time today to sit down and physically shoot a full My Talking Head episode and then go on the computer and edit and put all the fancy schmances on the videos. I can't do that today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk for 10 straight interrupted minutes. What do the kids call these days? Interrupted one-take vlogs or whatever. And we're going to talk about the goodness that was dropped today from Halloween Horror Nights, from Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights. So let's get started. The biggest elephant in the room, of course, the biggest piece of information in my mind that dropped today was the official reveal that there would be 10 houses. So we have 10 houses coming today. Now the blog it didn't announce what the 10th house was, but it just basically revealed that there was going to be a 10th house. And the blog kind of sort of made reference to the fact that this 10th house is going to sort of tie into this theme or whatever. I don't know. I don't know about that, but we do have an official confirmation on a 10th house. So 10 houses, 5 scare zones. That is the official word as of today. We did have official confirmation before that there were 9 houses, but it turned out to be 10 houses. So who knows, anything can change. So 10 houses. Of course, tickets went on sale today, so you can go onto the website and you can purchase all your tickets, your frequent fair passes, your single day passes, all that stuff is now on sale, so you can go there and do that. They did bring back the Ultimate Pass. I know there was some debate on whether or not they would bring back the Ultimate Pass, but they did bring back the Ultimate Pass, so that is back. So you can go there and you get that as well if you so desire to choose. If that's your deal, if you buy the Ultimate Pass, I may actually have to buy the Ultimate Pass this year. We'll see how without the Express, but we'll see how that goes. So 10 houses, tickets go on sale, all that stuff. That stuff is good. So let's move on to the meat of the stuff. Let's get the easy one out of the way first. Academy of Villains. Academy of Villains was announced to be coming back this year. They didn't really give any details on what the show was going to be or anything like that. They just said that they were coming back. So I'm assuming we'll hear about that later on in the season, maybe at the end when everything is kind of announced all at once, when the remainder of the stuff is announced. So maybe we'll get we'll hear about it then. But Academy of Villains is coming back. If I had to take a guess, Academy of Villains is going to get a little bit of an upgrade because there is no more Bill and Ted, and the Fear Factor Live stage should still be in play this year. So if I had to take a guess, Academy of Villains will probably get an upgrade and go into the Fear Factor Live building because they kind of deserve it. I mean, the last 2 years they were there, of course, we had 2 hurricanes interrupt the Academy of Villains performances. A lot of people forget about Matthew the year before. Wasn't as severe as Irma, but Matthew and Irma both kind of interrupted Academy of Villains. So Academy of Villains is coming back without any official description on what kind of show they're going to do or whatever, but they are coming back. So that's the easy one. So let's get to the other stuff. The 3 original content scare zones that were announced today. There are 5 scare zones. The other 2 scare zones, they didn't say it directly, I don't believe, but the other 2 scare zones should be based on intellectual properties. I kind of know what they are, but I digress. We'll continue. So let's start with which one should we start? Let's start with Twisted Tradition. I keep wanting to put traditions at the end of this, but it's Twisted Tradition. And Twisted Tradition kind of sounds like almost in a way, it sounds like Trick or Treat last year. It's kind of Halloween themed, a more traditional Halloween, over in Central Park no less. And they talk about how like Halloween has been sort of corrupted, and there's like pumpkins with human skin fused to them, and all sorts of crazy shenanigans. And they did reveal that it was going to be in Central Park. So Twisted Tradition, I don't really, Central Park kind of lent itself to these kind of scare zones these days, so it's just kind of natural that that they would sort of do something like this over there. They've been doing things like this over there for quite a while. So it is, it doesn't surprise me, whatever. I've heard some people say this is kind of like the Altars of Horror of this year, but I didn't get that vibe in the actual description, so I'm going to say that it's not. I don't know. But yeah, so Twisted Tradition. And then we'll go on to the Harvest. Now, the Harvest to me sounds like it's just them doing Scarecrow. They just like Scarecrow was so popular last year. It was actually a very good house, but it was so popular last year. They're like, okay, how do we capitalize on it for this year? What do we do? Let's make a scare zone. Let's do a scare. It's basically what it sounds like. It even has the reaping in the description. Scarecrow the Reaping obviously was the name of the house last year. So the harvest, sort of seems like it's going to follow that same vibe. It's a farmhouse. It's been a farmhouse, and there's creatures in there. Or talks about a farmhouse. I don't know if we're going to see a farmhouse, but there are creatures in there, and you gotta survive the creatures. You gotta live past the creatures. So just so weird. It so much sounds like they're trying to capitalize on Scarecrow the Reaping from last year. It is what it is. I really enjoyed Scarecrow the Reaping, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah. So the harvest. Then we have the one that I've known about for quite some time. This is Vamp 85. Vamp 85, of course, is the sort of sequel to... My coffee's done. Sort of sequel to Vamp 55, which was 2016, I believe. The whole high school homecoming thing with the vampires and the cheerleaders and the football players being turned into vampires and the greasers and all that stuff. People loved Vamp 55. I was not as like, oh my god, it's the best scare zone ever. It was definitely one of the stronger scare zones of that year. I'll give it that. But it wasn't like, the end all be all for me. This one actually had me a little bit interesting because I think this is where all those, I'm not gonna say, but it's vampires in the 80s. Once again, I mentioned in a previous video that there is a loose tie to a lot of these houses this year, and that a lot of these houses take place in the 80s or have some kind of connections to the 80s, and this is no different. It's New Year's Eve, 1985, the ball drops, and there's vampires everywhere. I wonder if we'll get like adult versions of the vampires from Vamp 55. Some kind of like, little, I don't know, some kind of little reference to Vamp 55 that only the diehard fans of Vamp 55 would actually only the diehard fans would actually know. Maybe we'll get older versions. I don't know, father and mothers of these kids. I don't know, but Vamp 85 New Year's Eve. If I had to take a guess, this would probably go into New York. It just makes sense. The whole Times Square ball drop thing. On New Year's Eve. If they actually did that, I give them props. If they actually somehow constructed a little Times Square ball dropping thing, for New Year's, I think that would actually be pretty cool. Maybe put it where the burning gazebo thingy was a couple years ago. You could do like a little tall thing and like maybe drop the ball and have it explode or something. I don't know. But yeah. So Vamp 85 New Year's Eve, that is coming. So that's it. I only have 10 minutes in which to do this one take thing. So I'm up to 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So what else? Oh, I will try to do, because I couldn't actually do a legit video today, I'll try to do a chat cast, which I haven't done in a while. And maybe I'll do that on Monday, so we can talk more in detail about all this stuff. Now that we have a lot more stuff to talk about, we could actually, talk about, everything that's come so far, and all that other great stuff. So, but yeah, sorry guys, I do have to work. Like I said, I can't really do a legit video. So this is what you're going to have to get for now. I know the video quality is probably a little bit poorer than you're used to, but it is what it is. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about it. I got to work. I got to make the money. I got to eat. Even though I could use to skip a couple of meals. But anyway, so that's it. So 3 original content scare zones announced today. AOV tickets went on sale, and 10 houses. Smorgasbord of stuff. There more likely to be another announcement sometime this month. So I would stay tuned. And that is it for me. I made it. I made it. I will talk to you guys later.